Hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
Welcome everyone to the Zack Express. The first stop, the League of Mayhem. Then Grace Randolph. Next, we have Dave, the Film Junkie. And the last stop, the USS Intrepid.
His birthday!
Counting down the days before November 17th, Zack Snyder has decided to go on his own little mini press tour, first visiting the League of Mayhem and the Nerd Queens, and then doing an exclusive interview with Grace Randolph, and then ending his stop, for the week at least, with Dave the Film Junkie. Name any other successful director out there that would do this for the fans.
It's crazy to me to see the amount that Zack Snyder gives back to his fans. It's awesome, and all three of these were really different in their own right, with the League of Mayhem, a bunch of different people on there, and just kind of shooting the shit, for lack of a better term, asking some questions, but mainly just kind of talking with Zack Snyder. Then you had a great interview with Grace Randolph, got a lot of fantastic information, some cool stories there, and then again, almost just kind of drinking, shooting the shit a little bit, answering some questions from Dave the Film Junkie. So they were all really different, and that's what I enjoyed about all of them. And as Matt said, name another director, successful director, that has done something like this.
So we'll start off with the League of Mayhem stream. Again, not too much information really came out of this. It was just a casual talk between Zack Snyder and his fans. But obviously we got a new t-shirt design, which is being promoted on Ink to the People, showing this great dark side image, and another little image that popped up on Snyder's phone just for a moment.
I think a really cool Martian Manhunter.
Yes, it was the second best thing that could pop up on Zack's phone. You can guess what the first one might be.
Holy rusted metal, Batman!
One of the questions that I did want to ask if we got onto Dave the Film Junkie's show, when did the concept of having General Swanwick as Martian Manhunter come about? Was it so far back as to the early days of Man of Steel, where he knew maybe down the road I'm gonna have Swanwick as Martian Manhunter? Was it during the days of BVS, or was it during the days of Justice League? I'm very curious on that.
And it was a concept art image, not an actual image from like the movie. It did look a little blocky, and it was kind of funny how he put it up to the screen real fast, pulls it away. It left for a great meme that I abused to hell on our Twitter. I used it for many nefarious things. Just again, what kind of director does that stuff?
So then on the next interview in the Zack Express tour, he talks with Grace Randolph, and there was a lot of great information in this interview, but one of the biggest things that everyone seemed to pull from it was Jared Leto's Joker. Zack Snyder talked about getting Jared Leto to come back and play the Joker, some of what it was going to entail, and then obviously the biggest part is that this was going to be a slightly different version from David Ayer's Joker.
There's a rumor going around. The Joker, your Joker, has a different look. And you said, well, Grace, that's true.
It is true. I mean, listen, I wanted to, of course, you know, honor what had been created with him, because I thought it was really cool. But I also felt like in this, I'm not going to tell you what happens in the little scene, but
I know, we won't tell everybody else.
Yes, I did tell. But there is some water has gone under the proverbial bridge between when last we saw Joker and this sort of appearance, and so he's made some. He's a road weary Joker. I guess that's the way of saying it.
While not taking anything away from David Ayer's version of Jared Leto's Joker, he definitely is going to have his own spin on this Joker, even calling him like a weary Joker, which tells me a couple things. One, it is going to be some nightmare influenced scenes with him, but with a couple other things that he was dropping throughout these streams, talking about death in the family. He constantly kept bringing that up as another Batman story that he can appreciate. And it feels like we are going to get some kind of definitive scene where we would probably see a flashback of Jared Leto's Joker killing Dick Grayson. And that was another thing that on Dave the Film Junkie's stream, he confirmed again that would be Dick Grayson being the dead Robin, and he kind of gave a reason why he chose Dick Grayson in that stream.
There's a Robin line, like there's a Robin
Easter egg in Justice League that I think you'll have to wait and see. I can't say exactly. Would there be a plan to have more Robin in future, in whatever future story there would be? I mean, to me, the way you do a Robin story in the Justice League universe is Batman is like drinking and he is remembering. Oh, I'm drinking. I'm drinking, so Batman drinking like a, but like and we see what happened. We understand like who Robin was to him, and we get to experience what was the circumstances for the Joker and Robin coming together.
And it's not the Jason Todd one. You clarified that it was the Dick Grayson version in your version of this story.
Dick Grayson to me is much more
that would
personal.
that would hit Bruce way more. Yeah.
Way harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was all about to me.
Yeah.
I was like, one of the things I always say is that like the thing I think that like a lot of fans need to think about in regard to how different directors approach Batman and or these sort of extended universes, you have to think about it like it's just a run.
Yeah.
It's just a run.
Like a comic book, like a graphic novel.
Comic book run.
Yeah.
Like if I had done a run of the same story of Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League, it would be way less controversial.
And that makes complete sense to me. When it comes to Robins, Dick Grayson is the most well-known Robin. It would be the Robin that Batman has the strongest connection to. That particular version of Robin dying would impact Batman more than just Jason Todd. In BVS, it's heavily implied that the death of Robin is what caused him to lose his way, what caused him to go against his morals and his code. And Dick Grayson being the more well-known Robin, the one that's more connected with Batman in the comics than any other Robin, his death would turn Batman against his own morality.
New rules. We're criminals, Alfred. We've always been criminals. Nothing's changed.
Even Grace Randolph added when she saw the black and white stills from Zack Snyder, obviously it was not shown on this interview, but she said they are so amazing. This Joker, your design, I would say is video game level good. And when people see it in context, they are going to go nuts.
Couple other small things, the cast getting back in those old suits. Ben Affleck was there in the bat suit. Snyder even bringing up saying that he thinks Affleck forgot how uncomfortable the suit was, and even one of the cowls tearing when he tried to put it on.
He also talked about how different it was to try to film a pickup scene with Ezra through a Zoom call, which is crazy this day and age, some of the things that they're having to do. He was essentially directing on the other side of the camera saying, okay, you stand over here and then you're gonna go like this. It's different. That is the epitome of 2020, but it sounds like he's making it work.
Behold the voice of God.
Like, fuck it, let's get some Justice League up in this shit.
One thing for Matt Pat from Film Theory, Snyder explicitly says there is no focus groups when it comes to his movie. That's for you, Matt Pat.
Zack Snyder not only has feedback from a trailer, he has feedback from a whole movie. He has all the market testing he needs to go back and remake his original vision into the best possible piece of cinema that he can based on what everyone was saying about the movie.
You could shut the fuck up.
So something we have all been wondering is, with all of this extra money that's being put into this, the back and forth that we've had with a lot of naysayers of, look, see, he's redoing this entire movie, he's going back and he's cheating, as Grace Randolph put it. Come to find out, he is actually only adding about 4 minutes of additional photography to his original cut of Justice League. So it's not like we're gonna have a ton of additional scenes.
You're shooting additional scenes. You're cheating, Zack. You're just making a whole new movie.
Right. I mean,
What do you say to that?
I thought, it's an interesting. I think I think it's valid because, on one hand, though, I will say that it's gonna, in the end, it's gonna probably be about 4 minutes or 5 minutes of additional.
And of course, the media can't help themselves. IGN on their Twitter put, Zack Snyder says his new cut of Justice League will only contain about 4 new minutes of content.
Fuck 'em.
It's not 2 hours and 4 minutes director's cut of Justice League. It's 4 hours. And of course, what he filmed was scenes that he wanted to add and obviously some transitions. His assembly cut was 5 hours long. There is some unique things from that original script that he wanted to insert into this movie. I like how they can't make up their mind either. Before it was he's cheating, he's making a whole new movie. $70 million, an independent director could take that and make a whole new movie. Or it could save a lot of baby seals. I don't fucking know. Now it flips around saying, oh, it's only 4 minutes. There's a lot of things you can do in 4 minutes. Trust me, Shane has at least 2 kids.
I'm sorry.
So something else that Snyder did talk about was essentially what is going to happen on November 17th is a new trailer, or I guess it's the original trailer that we've seen with a couple additional shots in there. And then he's going to have a live breakdown similar to how he's done BVS and Man of Steel on Vero. He's going to break down shot by shot the entire trailer, which is fantastic. He also mentioned somewhere in there about a black and white version that he may be dropping, which will be sweet as well.
To even add to the Zack Express, Ray Fisher participated in this as well, dropping an image on social media showing Cyborg and Flash and some kind of projection. Now this image looks insane. It almost looks like a painting. It obviously appears to be a screenshot taken directly from the movie. This looks amazing. And I cannot wait. This is going to look so different and so much better. And there's already many comparisons about what we saw in the Justice League to this, what Cyborg is supposed to look like. I mean, just the metal in Cyborg's look. It just looks so much better.
I knew that the color grading was all jacked up from when Joss Whedon took over Justice League and the things that he changed, but I did not think that Ray Fisher would look any different. That thought had never crossed my mind until I saw this image and I went, wait a minute, why does that look so different? And yes, as Matt mentioned, there have been a lot of comparisons between the two. He looks less cartoony. It looks fantastic.
Next stop on the Zack Express was Dave the Film Junkie. He did a live stream on Friday with Zachary Edward Snyder. This is something that Dave has been working up to for quite a long time. He finally succeeded in that. Congratulations to him for that. But Dave did have a more casual talk with Snyder, sitting down, having drinks. Again, what director does this? Spending an hour and a half of his time on a fan's channel. And all donations and super chats went to AFSP. The last tally count I saw for this was they raised over $2,200 in total on that stream. So good to Dave for that as well, and the fandom in general for donating and helping out a good cause. Some great tidbits came out of this interview as well. Something that kind of just abruptly came out by Zack Snyder. He was talking about how he was excited for people to see his cut of Justice League in IMAX.
Structure of the movie always sort of would have lent itself to this kind of, what I would say is a sort of, you know, but I think I can't wait for you to see it in IMAX, because I think it's going to play. It plays as this, you know, with a big intermission, you get to play. It will play hopefully in this grand. My ideal version of the movie is the black and white IMAX version of the movie.
Oh my God.
That to me is the like most fan centric, most, you know, pure, most Justice League experience.
Now this is something that's been slightly glossed over. He's basically just confirmed in some point he's gonna get some kind of theatrical release, which I know for a lot of people that's a big deal. Dave brought up other characters in Zack Snyder's Justice League, all the little seeds that were planted in Zack Snyder's Justice League, talking about Ryan Choi, the Atom, obviously Martian Manhunter, all these little seeds for future characters, because as he describes, when Darkseid comes to Earth, and that was another thing he talked about in the Grace Randolph one, was that he knows what happens when Darkseid comes to Earth, and you need these little seeds sown in the first Justice League to let you know that eventually these heroes, these other DC heroes, will be involved, like the Atom and Martian Manhunter.
This is what is so fantastic and what gets me giddy every time, especially when I see a lot of the haters that are out there saying, oh, they can't wait for this to be over. Snyder is just getting started. He is planting the seeds. He's going to have the foundation for Justice League 2 and potential other spinoffs, there was a lot of conversation in both the Grace Randolph and in Dave the Film Junkie's interviews where he made it seem like there may be future plans, and it really depends on what HBO Max wants to do, and I'm sure the success of Justice League. But it is exciting just to hear the discussions that are going on and to really know that the power is in Zack's hands.
On the Dave the Film Junkie stream, he did mention that Jared Leto wasn't part of the principal photography in 2016, that the concept of Jared Leto's Joker being in Zack Snyder's Justice League came about later, and obviously he tooled around this idea and just decided to call him and see whether or not he could bring him aboard. He also kind of made this small comment.
Only I just want to just say that, like, you know, so I got in my head that I could do this. I really wanted. I had this idea for a scene, and I had an idea. I had a version of this scene that I had written maybe 3 years ago.
The initial Justice League principal photography, was he part of that? Was he like incorporated with that, or no?
No, it wasn't. It was. There was a few things that I had thought about doing, that I had thought about grabbing in post. There was a number of things I had drawn. A couple of them I still wasn't able to do, but it's fine. I'm completely satisfied. But
so he says that, and I kind of got the impression when he says that there's some things that he wasn't able to film even now. I'm kind of wondering if the scary idea may not be happening after all, because Ray Porter has already said that he has filmed everything that he needs to do for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and according to Zack, they never filmed this. Concept of the scary idea, if it happens, it could happen in a way where it doesn't really require the particular actors involved, or I'm starting to wonder, in this case, if he's actually not gonna have that scary idea in his cut.
So congrats again to the Nerd Queens, everyone who was involved in League of Mayhem, to Grace Randolph, and to Dave the Film Junkie for having Zack a part of their shows. And really, a large part of what this is all about is to cross $500,000 in donations to AFSP and suicide prevention. So be sure to pick up the Dark Side shirt that he dropped on the League of Mayhem show. It is available on Ink to the People, and that's really what we are pushing for. What he is pushing for is to just continue to help the funding for AFSP and for suicide prevention.
And I saw it raise awareness for ASFP. I saw it bring a giant group of people together. And I saw one voice that changed the world and made anything possible. So for that, I just want to say thank you.
All right, guys, this will conclude this episode. We're going to have to pull out. Make sure to always rap twice.
Thanks again for everyone who's been listening and watching our videos and sharing and subscribing. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click that bell for the notifications and you hit that little subscribe button. We do have a Patreon as well as a YouTube membership if you want to support us on there. And we have a Comic Movie Marks website with some fantastic merchandise on there. The sales are just booming lately, so be sure to pick you up a t-shirt.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.